Hey, what's up, guys? Today I want to talk to you guys about DNS, and I want to give you guys a high overview of how DNS works. So DNS stands for Domain Name Service, and it is like a handbook for the internet. So whenever we visit a website, let's just say excalidraw.com in this scenario, we want to visit excalidraw.com, but computers doesn't understand this. Computers communicate over the internet using the protocol called TCP/IP, and in this protocol, you use IP addresses as an identifier for different devices. So we would have to translate excalidraw.com to an IP address. And it would be like a real pain in the butt if every time we want to visit a website, we would have to type in the IP address, because it's like way easier to remember google.com, youtube.com, and it's going to be really hard to remember their IP addresses. And that's where DNS comes in. So let's just say you have a client here, and he wants to make a request to excalidraw.com. First, the client will tell its DNS resolver that it wants to visit this website. And you guys can think of a DNS resolver as like a librarian in a library. You go to the library, you can't find you can't find a book that you're looking for, you would go to the librarian, and the librarian will find a book for you. So yeah, it basically just handles the request for the client and looks for the IP address of this website on behalf of the client. So client tells the DNS resolver that it wants to go to this website. The DNS resolver will actually first check its cache. So DNS resolvers will typically have a cache of IP addresses that's linked to a website. So every time a client makes the same request to the same website, the DNS resolver doesn't need to go search for it again. It can just pull it from its cache. So cache of IP address, and then if the website it's not in its cache, the DNS resolver will make a request to a server that's called a root server. And the root server will basically store all the IP addresses of top level domain servers. And a top level domain is what you see over here, the .com. It can be like .com, .gov, .io, just like .edu. Can it be like .nyc? So it's basically the thing that comes after the hosting. And the root server basically hosts all the IP addresses of the top level domains. And since we want to visit excalidraw.com, we will go to the top level domain.com. Okay, and so the root server will send back a reply and tell the DNS resolver to go to the .com top level domain. And after getting that, the DNS resolver will go to the top level domain of of .com. Oh, and let's just say they have like a IP address of 1.1.1.1. The root server will tell the DNS server to go to the IP address of 1.1.1.1, and the top level domain of .com will actually hold all the IP addresses of the domain name server of all websites that answer .com. So it will hold all the information, all the IP addresses of websites that ends with .com. So it can be youtube.com, it can be google.com, it can be, let's just say excalidraw.com. So the DNS resolver tells the top level domain that wants to go to excalidraw.com. The top level domain will search for it, finds excalidraw.com, and let's just say it has an IP address of 2.2.2.2, and it will basically tell the DNS resolver the IP address of excalidraw.com is 2.2.2.2,